Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oops.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hi, Vincent.
What's up? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Friday. Good.
Friday.
Can't complain.
Hi, Pallavi. I think you're new to us.
Yeah, this is first time I think I'm getting on.
Can you tell us
Welcome.
a little bit about you? Yeah, can you
Might
tell
say
us
it
a
again.
little bit about you?
Oh, about me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. 1 minute. I was typing here my thing. All right. Um, my name is Pallavi Patel. I am currently from Oswego, Illinois. I joined ORAAT 2020, 21 to 20, I think, because that's when I met Michael Zubair at Virginia Summit from Dealmakers.
Oh,
Yeah. So I'm with Dealmakers and also with Michael Zubair. And then I met Pace Morby from Michael Zubair. So now I'm with him. And the other person I met, Jamil Adam, I met him through the Pace. So with Tony Robbins and everything, but haven't done any thing yet because I was waiting on, because I'm divorced since 2006, didn't get anything because my ex won't give me anything. So moved here. Actually, I'm from Michigan. My kids are over there, but not kids anymore. They are grown up. But yeah, I moved here to help out you know, support my parents because they were old. I mean, mom is still there, dad is no more, but and I have an older brother who's in rehab, so he only listens to me. So I'm here to just, you know, help him out and just keep spending my money or on the card, getting debt, collecting debt to learn everything if I can't go out or do anything. So now I'm ready though. Now I'm ready for the co-living and yeah, and also looking to sell the property from Michigan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Pallavi, it's good to have you. Good to meet you as well.
Nice meeting you too.
How's everybody else doing? Oh, we got, oh, I thought it was us three. Never mind. We're good. We got seven people.
mm-hmm. We have Alex iPhone. I'm not sure who that is. Do you want to introduce yourself, Alex?
Sure, I'm sorry. Normally I change my name uh so I'm recognizable. Um my name is Alex Dutter and I'm the on my thing it normally says the accidental investor. I've been doing this for a while, but I just realized that I'm an investor. I just got back from BPCon and I got to meet Mike Zuber and Matt, and I knew Dion and uh, Christian and Osgood and Jason, a whole bunch of people. I mean, it was really cool in that environment. It was nice to hang with the ORAT people in the BPCon environment because when we go to the ORAT event, everybody knows who they are and everybody's going to be mingling with everybody else, right? So that's pretty cool. But not a lot of time to really get to know somebody or talk directly to each individual. And and that's what BPCon provided. It was a big event with lots of dreamers. Um, and with some action takers sprinkled in between. And I think Zuber's event is going to be different. It's a lot of action takers with dreamers sprinkled in,
Yeah.
which is what we want. So that was pretty cool. Today, later on, I'm going to be doing a live with Mark and kind of telling my story. So if you're interested in getting to know me, um, that might be a good spot to tune in if you got the time. And then also, I just closed a couple weeks ago. Now it's not. It was actually almost a month ago on a 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom house with a detached ADU or DADU. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a 2 unit, but it's two separate buildings next to each other on
Mm.
one piece of property. So it's almost like a 2-for-1 deal. Um, it's a pretty nice setup in a decent neighborhood, and I think it's going to work out. So now I'm in savings timeout. I'm not really working on doing anything in particular except for finishing up the move and um, figuring out just kind of stabilizing is where I'm at right now. And that's me.
And yeah, I think I recognize you now. I think you were trying to do co-living for that property you just closed on, right?
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that. That's a whole nother area of investing that I'm actually really interested in. And I like the idea of like sober living or transitional living. Um, and I think this area would be really good for it, and I think the house would be really good for it. And over the next year, it seems like that might be where I'm being um, pushed. That's kind of what I think is going to happen. So I'm pretty excited to explore that and some other opportunities. But right now, it's just kind of relax. So I don't want to be an action taker right now. I've taken lots of action, and I want to take a break.
Where are you located, Alex?
Western Washington. So it's near Seattle, but
Okay.
it's not the Seattle metropolitan area. I'm a ferry ride, a boat for about 50 minutes from Seattle if I take a ferry, and about an hour and a half if I drive. There's the economic drivers here are Navy bases. And I mean, that's
Mm,
mainly it. It's a
okay.
I don't know what the population is here, but because of the Navy bases, there's military people always moving, always coming and always going. And it's a pretty decent size city. Um, so uh, like I said, there are what am I thinking? The infrastructure and everything that they need for the Navy bases is pretty strong here. Um, I think they have like 12,000 people or 15,000 people employed in the different Navy bases right here. And then there's also military bases down by Tacoma, which is about 45 minutes away.
Nice. Well, pleasure to have you on. Looking forward to hearing about your story.
Thanks.
I think we have three co-living persons here, Kalawi, Hans, and Alex now, all interested in co-living.
High interest rates. It's good to do.
Yeah.
Wow, good memory. Yeah, yes, I am interested in that. I'm actually taking a trip to Chicago next week. Mostly to take a couple days off, to be honest, but I'm going to walk the neighborhood. I'm going to go stay in the neighborhood where I'm interested in purchasing, and I'm going to go walk it. And I reached out to a couple people on ORAAT to see if they want to meet up, to see if anybody wants to do a Chicago meetup. So we'll see how that goes.
Nice.
I think there's Jason Callas Basho, I think there. I don't know if you reach out to him.
I haven't, but he's one of the people I messaged just based on Chicago as a keyword I was having. I'm sure there's some people on there who are in Chicago, but who don't have it in their bio. But Yeah, so I hope, we'll see. I'll make
Mhm.
sure to
I
reach out
believe
to him.
he has a couple multifamily, if not
Oh, really?
two fourplex in Chicago proper.
Oh, nice.
So that would be a good contact for you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Lindsay, how are you? How was your week? I know I missed last week. I had a kids thing, but yeah, how was your week? How's everything going?
Good. I closed on a property this week. Seller finance.
Nice. Oh, nice. Same seller finance you've done before? Same guy? Same
Yeah,
person?
same guy, same
Okay.
person. So now it's about getting bids to get it was empty. So now we're gonna it looks pretty good. So it doesn't look like it's gonna take a lot to turn over.
Hmm.
So now I'm working on that.
Nice. You mind sharing, like, I know you've worked with them before, but the details on anything?
Yeah, I will share, but he told me not to share. So
Oh, okay. No, it's all
he,
good. It's all good.
he follows me on YouTube, so that's the
Okay.
problem.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That's fair.
But in a nutshell, like 10% down, low interest, no
Hmm.
loan, 30-year payment.
Oh, this is 30 year. Nice.
Yeah, he's more comfortable with me, it seems like now.
Yeah.
I'm making
Oh, that's
payments for
cool.
him.
Hmm. Not, and you close on it this week,
Yeah, close to that this week.
and it's in the same area you have a couple other ones.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, so two
Is there
bedroom.
more that he has?
Hmm?
Is he looking to do more long term or more in the future? Sell you more?
Yeah, I think he's trying to get, I think he still has like four left, but I
Hmm.
think those are like set
Yeah.
for sure. But I'm not like I feel like because of the ADU, I'm just like finish. I like need a break.
Yeah.
No, even though there's a deal in my inbox too right now, but people have told me like you need to let like step away from the phone.
Uh, that's hard to do when there's deals out there.
Yeah.
So how did, just to show people that seller finance is still like a thing, how did you get the relationship with this person?
So last year, when I learned about seller financing, I was telling my realtor to make seller finance. So I was doing what my co-seller says to offer cash, one offer,
Hmm.
and then one seller finance offer for the deals that I would see on the MLS. And then my realtor, who has a network of other investors with him, he knew that one of the investors is trying to move his money out of Gary into Detroit. So
Hmm.
he knew he was gonna offload some properties. So that's how we got connected. So it was kind of weird at the beginning because we were doing seller finance through a realtor.
Yeah.
So he had a commission. We like negotiated a commission because I actually ended up picking up three houses from that seller. So we negotiated a commission there, which was less than the 3% what I would have to pay as buyer. So that worked out. And then since I've been making payments for that person for the last year now,
Hmm.
he told me like I'm giving you dibs on this house. Do you want to come look
Wow.
at it? I was already in Gary when that happened, and I wasn't really
Yeah.
actively looking. So I went and took a look at it, and then I was like, okay, y'all, for sure, I'll take it. Got a
That's
lot of
cool.
work to do. Yeah.
Good job. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
so there's still seller finance out there. There's still ways to cash flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Yeah, I have about four that are seller financed right now. I just do the short term until I refi out of them. And so I'll just buy a distressed property and then we'll do a short term loan until I fix it up and then refi out of it and pay them back. I did raise a lot more money this week though. I've had two new investors come on just this week, so they're hungry. They're looking to fund deals. One of mine's very interesting. I'm actually super excited for this one. This gentleman, he started a foundation business probably I think said 10 or 12 years ago. Built it to about 150 employees and then sold to a nationwide foundation business who bought him out for I don't know the number, but I think it was over 15 million. So, he's sitting on a lot of money. So he's in his 40s. He's kind of just chilling. They travel the world. But he lends to only two of his friends that occasionally flip. They're not actively doing it. If they just come across one, they'll just buy it and they work on it themselves. They kind of just do it as a hobby. Um, well, I got connected with this guy from my title company, and the lady I work with, I do pretty much 90% of all my flips through this one title company, and she's like, "Hey, you got to meet this guy." So she put us together, or made a connection, and Monday we went to lunch and we just connected. So after 2 hours of lunch, um, I have a deal coming that I'm closing on next Friday, another flip, and he's like, "Hey, I'll fund it. I want to work with you, and everything seems good." Well, my normal private money guy that I use, he wants points up front and monthly payments, and he only does a 8-month term. He's more expensive, but he's the most active private money guy here. So he's kind of like the I call him like the Walmart of private money. He's the if you want his money, you're on his terms. You're not haggling. You're not negotiating. This is what it is. This guy is like super chill. Like I said, he doesn't do this as a business. He just willing to lend his money out. So he's charging me 1.9% interest, which is already cheaper than my other guy, and he wants absolutely no payments until we sell. So I don't have to worry about paying 4 or 5 grand a month. Like it's working. And he's like, yeah, I don't want you to tie up the capital. He's also giving everything up front. So I'll tell you the
That
numbers on this one. I bought this one for 390. It's going to need about seven. I always over budget my rehabs, so I put 70. It's probably going to take me 60. But 70K in the rehab. So he's going to give the total 460 up front. My other guy gives it in draws, just like a normal hard money lender. And he goes and walks the property. This guy's like, I don't care. I don't want to see the house. Here's 460. So he's just giving it to me up front. He's like, I don't want any payments. Just when you sell it, just pay me at the end. I was like, perfect. So super excited to work with him, make a connection, and many deals in the future um, with this guy. I'm really excited for that one. Another person yesterday I locked up. He he's looking to fund my out of state one, so he's not ready for the 4 or 5 $600,000 purchases, but he's ready for the sub 100 or about it right at about 100. But he's like, we'll just keep these going, keep moving, just to keep my money out, and just keep flipping there, keep burring out there. So um, we're moving now. I'm just looking for more and more deals. And just keep going from there. So yeah, it was, and those kind of just fell in my lap. I didn't really search for them too, because I was happy with my private money lender. I was cool with him, and he's like, just keep me going.
mhm.
He tries to keep 18 loans out at a time, so he's pretty active and busy. And he's like, just keep going. Let's just keep working together. And but now that I found this guy, I kind of have to tell him like, hey, you got to work with your rates a little bit. This guy's coming in and he's cheaper and quicker, and so we had a good time. We're actually golfing next week. I'm gonna talk to him about that some more, but. Um, yeah, it was pretty good. And I bought two last week, one this week. So now just trying to scale. I got three more to hit my goal for the year.
Mhm. You have one on the market right now.
I have two, yeah, two on the market. Yeah, my famous Woodland one is finally on market, and
That the one that caught fire?
no, that one's gone and done. I'm so happy. That was my worst one. That one's gone. This is the one I bought in January, the first week of January, and we're just now putting on market. This is one I fought with squatters. I fought with the sellers, disgusting, dirty hoarder house, but it's nice and beautiful now and on market. And we're getting a lot of interest.
Vincent, I know you've been doing this actively since 2022. How many like flips do you average a year now?
Well, the flips started mid last year. Um,
Oh, okay.
so last year I bought one, two, three. I bought three last year. And then this year it'll be one, two, three, 4, 5. About 8 this year. Sorry. No, sorry. 9.
That's a lot of flips.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Different systems now, different crews, so like understanding it a lot more. So yeah, we're out. The goal was 1 a month, but I'll probably hit that next year. I'm actually trying to slow down right now just because of the time that we'll be listing is pretty much Christmas, and I don't want to really list. So any deal we're getting, I'll just wholesale. I'll try to wholesale it or novate it or something like that. I just don't want to really list. I mean, I don't mind it sometimes if the deal like one deal I couldn't pass up, and I was like, we'll just take it on. So we'll be listing around the holidays, but I got it at such a good price. We have a little bit time for it to sit on the market if it needs to. In-house 2. Well, besides the crews, here local is 2 acquisitions and a project manager. And then they're I put it as kind of they're not like a 40-hour a week job. Like they still work other jobs. Like my realtor is my acquisition manager, so she deals with my leads. What's that? Yeah, so she handles we do it together, but she handles all the leads for the majority. She'll negotiate a lot of the deals, and then she also gets to list it on the back end. So she'll get 2 commissions out of the deal essentially. And then project manager. Yeah. So if she closes the deal, um, she'll get, depending on the price, she'll get a little check up front, and then she lists it on the back end as the realtor. So she's happy. And then if we get a refer, so these leads that we're getting and we're doing the Facebook, Instagram, and Google, if it ends up being like her just taking it as a listing agent, then she'll give me a little cut from the referral just because I'm paying for all the lead gen. Yep. So we are marketing on Google, Instagram, Facebook. I went with a marketing agency and we're doing the paper lead. I'm sorry, pay per click lead generation. So they fill out a form, we get the lead instantly. There's a hot transfer option where if they get them on the phone, they'll immediately transfer over to me. Um, so they're already showing interest, right? And it's just more catered to people on social media or on Google or things like that. So it's not my personal one that's used for the ads. It's just it's an ad that was built under my company. But I will say, um, I'm the worst person on social media. I'm terrible at it. I'm not good, but I'm actively trying, and we're doing a lot more. One of the deals I bought this year was me. I made a video with a guy that does my hauling, and he's very, very active on social media. Um, and we just did a quick 30-second video. He was removing a hot tub for me. And from that deal, I got a guy that randomly called me out the blue and was like, "Hey, I just inherited a mobile home. Are you interested?" We started talking. I ended up buying that mobile home from him. So that came from a free 30-second video on social media. He was like, "I don't know you, you don't know me, but I saw your video on Instagram." And that's the the great part of free advertising and social media. So I'm trying to do a lot more. I'm actually going to be working with my wife's cousin, who's very uh, prevalent on social media, and he's understands the algorithm, all that stuff. So I'm just trying to get better at that because, like I said, it's free, and I'm paying a ton of money right now for these pay per clicks. But if I can advertise that way, I know Jason, my mentor, he gets a lot of deals just from social media, from talking, and all that stuff. So I think it's very beneficial if it's used the right way and you're catered to the right crowd, right? I mean, Lindsay, I'm seeing you've seen progress, right? Just from social media, you've seen traction gaining, right?
For you, yeah, I've seen
No,
your.
you. No, you're active.
Yeah, I think that since there is a lot of videos backing me up now, there's a lot of people that not bringing me deals per se, but bringing me connections. Like,
Hmm.
have you talked to so and so
Yep.
as well? But also just being on your market adds like more knowledge. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
of course. Yep. So I think you got to get on, Mr. Troy. I think it's very beneficial.
And it's also,
if
I
it's used the
think
right way.
your mentor used to talk about a credibility report. Like I think
The
like making a form for you to like make sure you have credibility. I think that's already what
Oh yeah. So
my
I just built mine out and I actually sent it to the private money lender before I went to lunch with them. But yeah, credibility packet. It just shows literally. Actually, I can pull it. It just shows. Yeah, and if anybody's interested, I have a template for it. If anybody needs some help on what it should look like or building it, but basically just shows a little bit about you, right? I put some projects on there that we've done, just some before and afters, my why, the company, what we do, that kind of stuff. Just a little instruction. I think it's like 3 or 4 pages or something, I think. Let me see. But actually my VA made it. I didn't even make it. One,
but I
two,
would
three,
say like
four.
also your social media can be that too. Like
Yes.
your presence in social media.
Yep. Oh, it's 8 pages. Sorry. It was a little longer than I thought. Yeah, I really recommend that when raising money, just so a lot, if you don't know this person that's interested in funding your deals, it's good for them to at least have a little rundown on you or just kind of see some of your previous work. Um, I overshared with this guy. I thought he wanted to know, see, walk the project, all this stuff because I'm so used to my guy doing that. And he's like, no, I don't care. The house is the collateral. So I was like, well, look at this one. It's let me show you my house on market. He's like, oh, that's cool. But he was like, I don't care. Like, just take my money. I was like, it was just super, super easy. A good problem to have, right?
How is everybody else doing? I feel like it's quiet today.
Very.
Listening.
I'm sorry if I wasn't muted earlier as I was yelling at my dogs. I thought I was. But one of the things I wanted to say to Vincent, it sounds like you earned that. Like you got this private money lender who was introduced to you by your agent at the title company. So the things that you've
Mhm.
done so far have actually, you know what I mean? The business that you've done already speaks for itself. So when that title company agent says, "Hey, I got this guy," she's already introducing you to somebody. You got credibility right out the gate. So I want to say
Exactly.
congratulations and good job on that. Let's acknowledge, where that really came from. And you're sitting here trying to give him an 8 page, this is who I am. And he's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. No, thank you. I'm actually buying them the whole title company luncheon on Friday next week. But um yeah, no, she speaks very highly of me always. We've actually known each other for super long. I went to high school with her, but she's always speaking very highly of me. She's always introducing me or telling people. Um, I'm actually in their company. I've actually bought the most houses in the city, so she's already like pushing that for me and always helping out any way she can. But no, I really respect and appreciate that. It was a definitely happened at the right time. Making this connection and really looking forward to working with this gentleman. More and more doors are opening as I talk about it more and more, right? I think we've said that before, Lindsay and I, like just tell everybody what you do and talk about everything and show passion or show interest. And I'm big really now. Like one of the things I've been practicing is like, how can I provide value to everybody? Um, whether it's anybody or any person I'm talking to, like how can I provide value or what can I do to help this person out? And I've seen things just improve, in that aspect, and not just real estate, just with everything in business and my children and their surroundings, all this stuff, sports, all this. Um, I'm just trying to make sure I'm providing value to the people around me, and it's coming back and helping, with people providing value to me. So uh, we do. I mean, my original private money guy, he needed a favor, jumped on it, made sure it was taken care of. And he's like, hey, I'll consider that, a huge favor. So he was willing to lend on stuff that isn't even in his territory. So, it's opening those kind of doors. And he's now getting me access to this private country club that's in our area. And I'm now getting like membership things there. And so like things are starting to happen and work just from real estate and just from talking about it and being in this community and all this kind of stuff. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Alex.
Hey, Vincent,
Yes, sir.
Hey, so if you were to give someone who is looking to do similarly what you're doing, as a first time, fix and flip, like what pieces of advice would you give them in order to like figure out how to come up with hard money lending, how to acquire and purchase, you know, properties that you would term as fix and flip, and then what would you suggest in terms of the process of scaling and when to purchase your next one?
Yeah. Um, I think I said before, the hardest thing to do is find the deal, right? Money will come. You'll find his way to money. You know enough people. There's enough people in the community that are willing to give their money or willing to share who their lenders are, or investor loans that are out here that are more than friendly to help you out as best as possible. My first flip, I got
Oh no.
of that purchase. So like it's the money's out there. The deals are what's hard to find. So I would say don't spend too much time on where am I going to find this money at? Get the deal. My first one was $1 million. It was two purchases from the same seller, 500K each. And I had no idea where I was going to find $100,000, right? For the down payment because I had to come with 10% each. So 50-50. And it made its way and it worked. And um, that all happened and fell through, or I'm sorry, not fell through. That all happened and got taken care of. But uh, you'll find a way, right? Jason always says like, I didn't know what I was capable of until my back was against the wall. So when I had a closing date and I had to find $100,000, you just make it happen, right? Like you're gonna find a way. You're gonna ask everybody. And that's when I really got comfortable asking people for money was in that scenario because it was getting down to that time. And I was like, hey, I need to find 100. So I'm asking everybody and anybody around me. So I got a lot more comfortable doing that, just from asking the people in my network. Um, and then, you know, you asked like when to start scaling, when to start going for your next one. It's not for everybody. It's a grind. You're a buyer, you're a project manager, you're a realtor, you're everything. You're dealing with every phase of a disgusting, dirty house to a nice, beautiful, clean house that's sold. So it's a good 4 or 5, could be 6 months of work, of stress, of purchases. Um, a lot of people will say like you don't need money. You need to have a couple dollars to do the flips because a lot of these loans are draw loans. So you have to come up with the funding to get this flooring done, get this kitchen done, and then get reimbursed for that money later. There's ways to get around that, but I would say if you're diving into your first one, find the deal. Oh, did he fall off?
No, no, no. He just turned off his
Oh,
camera.
okay. If you're diving into the first one, find the deal. The money will come. Lock it up. Get your crew going. I mean, during the process of closing, you should have your crew ready to go anyway, and your scope of work and all that. But get your crew going, get working, stay on them, manage them, make sure they're done at a reasonable timeline. Find a good realtor who's not going to charge you a bunch of commissions. Sell it on that back end and be done with it. If you can handle multiple at a time, more power to you. I know you work full time, Mr. Troy, but it is a lot. It's a lot of random phone calls. It's a lot of you're making decisions that they're always calling me about something stupid, and I'm like, you could have figured that out. Like this is you figure that out. So there's a lot of like little things here and there, a lot of Home Depot purchases, a lot of cabinet purchases, all that stuff. But you build so much network and connection with a lot of people, that it just gets easier and easier after a few, right? And I hope that helps.
Yeah, that does. It's I've been I've been very curious about. I've attempted one before, and we ended up backing out of it because we got in over our head on it. But
Hmm.
I've done a lot of property hacks too. Like, I mean, it's I know how to do a lot of the work, and I understand it because I have some construction background.
Hmm.
Growing up, it's more or less for the rest of the group too. Is just like people that are remotely interested in it is just figuring out like how to get the first one done because it's usually like that's the hardest hurdle is to
Hmm.
get your first one done because it's like you're talking about having that credibility form that you put together. Well, in order to get that credibility form, you gotta have credibility. So it means
Yeah.
like doing doing the deals and having building up. So like you said, you started out with three within, you know, your first year of
Mhm.
just doing flips. You know, that's a healthy start in my mind. You know, three in 1 year is that's pretty good. Who did you lean on when you were going through that whole process to, you know, basically bounce ideas off or challenges or stuff like that, or did you just, you know, figure it out as you went?
I of course had Jason, which he was a huge help, Jason Pritchard. We have another guy in our community who's here, who's also in Jason's, what was in Jason's program. He was doing his first flip probably 3 months before I got my first one, maybe. So I had him. We were kind of doing it together. We actually worked in the same job together, so we were, really had a lot of similarities. So I had that as help. And honestly, like it's a lot and it's challenging, but it's if you break it off into sections, it's really not that bad, right? Like you said, you have a construction background. So if you go through finding the deal, that's the hardest part, right? Negotiating, finding the deal, walking it, making sure your numbers are right, underwriting and all that stuff. Then it goes into escrow. It's kind of hands off from there. Title company takes care of everything. You're finding funding, all that kind of stuff. After that, it's back in your hands, right? So now you're managing the construction. So if you break it off into sections, it's really not that bad, right? So after title, it goes to construction. Now you're just managing the rehab. You're not worried about the money or the funding part. That's already done. You're not worried about negotiating. That's already done. Now you're just focused on one subject, one task at a time. So now, hey, let's get this house cleaned out. Let's get it all done and nice and pretty. And then you hand it off to the realtor, right? So the realtor now comes in, they schedule pictures, then they're on market, they're dealing with all that stuff, minus anything going wrong with the house, right? I had a leak 2 days ago inside of a house on market. Um, so things like that, and then you're in the back end title process. Now they're closing on the house, so you're just hoping everything goes well with the buyer, and they're finding their funding, and you're kind of hands off from there. So if you break it off into sections, I found it's like easier to chew, right? Like you just section it all off. And then after that first one, you're like, okay, cool. I liked working with that lender, or I liked working with this hard money guy, or whatever. Like I loved that process. It was nice and smooth and easy. And after that first one, your terms may get a little better. And then after 3 or 5, your terms get even way better. So it just kind of falls into place and you just break it off into section by section. It's not terrible, but it is challenging, right, at times. But with systems in place, that's why like I'm the project manager who I'm working with now. I'm trying to be more hands off. Um, I don't want little, I mean, we have it to a point now where my guys know exactly what we're buying. All my houses look exactly the same. Um, it just makes it easy, right? So, but I want the project manager to do payroll. I want them to check on progress, just be that oversight of in the construction phase. I'll find the deal, I'll fund the deal, hand it off to them. They manage the rehab and then hand it right to my realtor, and I don't even see the house after that. So that's the goal. For the flips is just to be more hands off so I can focus on the front end on finding these deals because that is by far, I can't stress enough, the hardest thing to do is find the deal.
What was your process like building a crew?
Um, then my main guy, my
I mean,
main
that would be
crew,
challenging.
yeah, my main crew, he's actually worked at my house. He did my own flooring a couple years ago, and I had him in my phone. His name's Eli. I had him in the phone as Eli Flooring. So I only thought he did flooring. So I called him one day. I was like, "Hey, you know anybody that does like cabinets, counters, flooring, paint, like everything? I need to remodel a house." He goes, "We do that." Like, no, you don't. You just do flooring. So he he ended up in the first house, and he's been with me ever since. He hasn't had a not had a job in a year and a half. He's had 6 days a week of work every day. So it's kind of a game for me to keep these guys busy, keep them working. I had to bring on a second crew. So I'm still with my same crew. He's actually down in LA at a house that we're doing right now, but um, I keep a second crew ready to go. But yes, it is hard because I have a house coming next week that I don't even have a crew for yet right now. So I'm kind of networking and trying to figure out guys to work on that one. So it is
That's what
challenging and hard.
that's what I was kind of wondering. What do you do if you know in between jobs where if you don't have jobs lined up back to back to keep those guys busy, you're gonna
Yeah.
miss out. They're gonna be working on another job, and then when you find the other
hmm
purchase, you're gonna have to like see if it works for them. So
Yeah. So finding the crew, what I've been doing is it's in a city about an hour and 15 minutes away from me. And I don't ever go to that city, nor do I need to. So I kind of just ask around of people that know people, not necessarily people that can remodel, but just know people in that area, in that region. So I've already talked to two guys, friends of a friend, and I'm like, hey, do you have anybody in your network that can remodel a house? And put them on the phone with me. Let me just see what they're talking about, what they can do. So kind of gauge them. I have a like a backup crew in the Bay Area I can send out there, but um, I'm just kind of networking that way. But it is challenging. It is hard because it's an area nobody really. It's far, kind of. So
I think also one of the first challenges, because it's going to be your first, is getting emotionally attached to a house or overcomplicate your deal. Like I
mhm,
think Vincent, you're pretty like good at staying on your single family home or condo and not taking bigger houses like 2,000 square feet. You also
mhm,
look at the layout. You're not busting walls for like on your majority of flippers are keeping the same layout, if not just adding something like a door or something to make an additional room to maximize your ARV, as
yep,
well as like, tips for like, construction and then minimizing cost to get the same ARV. Like you said, you keep all of your houses the same, so I'm assuming you buy everything in bulk. So you're
mhm.
not just like changing the layout of the house because it's going to
That's
be
100%
nice to look
true.
at versus
Yeah,
easier to sell.
yeah. So yeah, we're not taking on anything extraordinary, anything crazy. It's basic, remodelings from here and there. Like this one's got a lot of black mold that we're jumping into, but that's just sheetrock repair, right? So, well, barring anything crazy, but yeah, we're using the same stuff. Keep it easy. We're buying in bulk. If they have things left over, they take it to the next house. So then we're buying less material. So yeah, it helps to have those systems in place. And Jen, I don't know because I don't know that's hard to or answer, Jen. 'Cause I don't know like your time constraint with your W-2. Like, is it 40 hours or you working 60 hours? Like, I don't know. So if you could I mean, between the two of you, since you both understand real estate, I think you guys can 100% do it because you both can help out, right? My wife doesn't really do real estate, so she doesn't. I'm not going to task her with answer this question of what this guy needs or something, right? But you both understand it, so I think you guys can definitely tackle it. Um, the only time I'm really at the houses is if I just want to do a check-in, and if I'm in that city, I'll just go pop in real quick and go take a look. And I do a lot of surprise check-ins sometimes, depending on what they have going on. Um, Other than that, it's all over the phone. Purchases are super easy. I keep my card on file wherever I can. So wherever they allow me, I'll keep my card on file. Email receipts, text to approve purchases, like all that stuff. So it's honestly pretty. They're making it easier, right? With a lot of cards being on file. So I think you could do it, 100%. But I don't know how much time you spend at your W-2 though.
What's your take on Steve's question?
Why is it Costco? What's your take on my first bird with an experience with her? Well, I would be 70% him.
So Vincent, I don't know if you can
Hey,
hear.
Renee.
I
Yes, I
don't
can hear
know.
you.
So you're glitching all, so I didn't know if my voice would come through. This is just on a different note. I really would love Lindsay's input on this. So all of our real estate's out of state, all rented, but we recently encountered a thing this morning where I got a email from the property management company stating that my tenant has not paid. They've sent them a notice, their 5-day notice. It's in Arizona. And, just what the escalation will be past this point. I've never, dealt with this. However, we did rent to this person knowing that they had a lower credit score, but everything else matched out and, no evictions, nothing. But I started thinking about this, about how if, because Arizona is one of those states where people will sign a 12-month contract, even though they know they're not going to stay 12 months, because
Mhm.
it's more of a vacation or a, part like a snowbird state. So my concern is maybe that's what she is. And so she's going to break the lease, which means all it is a breaking of the lease if I don't escalate it to an eviction, which means she doesn't have an eviction on her credit. Would you escalate it to a conviction knowing that you gave her consideration because she had something that didn't align with everything that they recommend?
This is for
So
the
yeah, go ahead,
beginning of
Lindsay.
this month is October 10, so they're missing October's rent.
Yeah. So they pay by the 5th. Well, they were due on the 1st. They pay by the 5th. They don't pay by the 5th on the 6th. They get a notice. But my understanding is that they haven't communicated anything with the property management company.
Then I would definitely advise having a conversation with the tenant. Like it might be they're just late because the government shut down and the check comes from the government. I mean,
Okay.
that's right now I'm currently doing
Oh, yes.
two of my tenants are Section 8, and then I have not received rent payment yet.
So they're not Section
For
8.
those particular. No, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
They
she's not Section 8. She's like, she showed an income of over $10,000 a month, proof of income, to move in. So I wasn't concerned because she showed a proof of income of that amount. What concerned me was her low credit score but I always overlooked that one because, you could have 3 credit card inquiries and drop your credit score significantly. So to me, credit score is not always a determining factor of whether you can pay your bill.
Mhm. Yeah, it could be their active duty and the paycheck comes from the government, and currently they're not issuing paychecks. It could be that, but we don't know yet, right? We're I guess it's been 10 days. We're seeing eviction as a possibility. We really need to talk to the tenant since there's no like information yet. If they goes beyond a month, then obviously there is the threat for eviction. Then there will be the conversation of like, would you just ask them to leave and break the lease versus following through the whole eviction?
Is it costly to follow through with the eviction through a property management company?
It's different in every state. In my state,
Yeah.
it's about $700 to evict somebody, but I'm
Mm.
not sure what's the pricing in Arizona.
Okay.
Hey, Renee.
And California, it's thousands and thousands of dollars. So
Oh yeah,
And
I've heard
time.
that.
$6,000 just to start.
I
So
I
Yeah.
heard I could have her out in 30 days in Arizona. Literally have her
Wow.
out. Yeah, they are very like a landlord friendly state where they don't play games. And that's why these property management companies follow through with as soon as the 5th, they don't pay by the 5th. On the 6th, you send that notice because that is the notice of, being able to evict them immediately. If you let that go or don't do it immediately, then it starts from the time that you give them that notice. Maybe you wait till the end of the month because they gave you 10 excuses. Then that means your period doesn't start until you give that notice. And I think that's why property management companies immediately, no matter what's taken place, they send that notice.
I think it really
Are
depends on the
they are
property
they
management
charging
company.
a oh go ahead, Troy.
As I say, it really depends on the property management company and their policy and how they do things.
Oh, they're
Question is
escalating it. They're escalating it. They've
well,
already, that's what they said to me is like, we have an attorney that handles these. If she doesn't pay and she doesn't give us any notice after the 5 days, then we turn it over to our attorneys and then they do an escalation of an eviction. And I was like, oh, wow. All this came in this morning and I was like, oh God, because she's only been there 3 months. So.
Hmm.
so when they sent out the notice, how long did they send it by? Well, 'cause usually they post it on their door. If it was posted on
No,
the door,
so in Arizona, you send a written notice and they have 5 days to respond. And if they don't, basically then they can turn it over to their attorney to escalate it to an eviction.
so today would be the 5th day then.
Yes. And I think that's why I got the notice last night. I didn't see it till today, but got it last night, is that they had sent it on the 6th. I didn't even know she hadn't paid. So it was like, oh, okay. This is new. I'm Never,
That's why you pay those property managers, right?
exactly. And if I'm going to experience, I've experienced everything buying houses just in my first year. So this has been a learning curve. So
This is for the future, but like maybe I don't know if you get the full credit report from them, but maybe if they have a low score, just maybe have them do a full credit report because actually if things like inquiries, they really don't take a lot off.
okay.
Now, now things like having like 50% debt ratio, that's more. But the thing that really dings you is the late payments.
Yeah.
So
What does
like
she have those? Yeah.
yeah, so late payments are obviously a concern, but then so I would just get like a more complete report if people have a low score. That's one thing might think about.
Yeah. Well, and I was so anxious to rent them just because, we had bought 3 houses all within a short amount of time. So we had a lot of liquid money going out immediately while they were vacant. And so we were like, okay, we got to rent them. I want to rent them. You get that anxiety of how long
Totally.
do you keep a property vacant? So, um, that was kind of my thing was that, well, and then my last tenant that we moved into a house that stayed vacant since May and it just rented September 1st was he had we thought an eviction. She pulled, so she's like, oh, we have a good tenant, a good inquiry. He's got everything. And then she sent me a thing 2 days later and she's like, there's something on his thing, something about an eviction. So it wasn't an eviction. What it was a class action suit. I guess there was a thing that happened with several of the uh, property that him and some other people were renting he was being foreclosed on all these houses and they were taking it and they were kicking these people out, but these people had nowhere to go. So it wasn't necessarily, but it all explained. And so he sent over the court records and that he was in this, thing and it's not an eviction and that, yes, he was told to get out, but this is what happened. And so we ended up renting. He had a good credit score, good job, everything else. But that was like, another quick red flag. And you're like, okay, how many of these red flags can you have?
Is the property manager charging for the eviction as well, or are you just paying the lawyer for that?
So what they do, this is what the property management company said to me, is that because they deposit, they'll take
Mhm.
from the deposit and they have it written in their contract that they can pull from the deposit if they have to evict them. It can come from
Oh, okay.
we don't have to pay out anything, which is good. I mean, that was a plus. But they'll also go after them for however many days they stay at the home past
Mhm.
they haven't paid. So they'll have that plus a debt owed to the property management company for whatever time frame until they get out. So I'm hoping it doesn't escalate to that. But yeah, I was like, ugh. I was hoping for a year of peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's real estate investing. I'm going through an eviction right now as well. I just paid for it yesterday.
Okay.
Not fun.
Yeah, no, no. And what state are you evicting in?
Alabama.
Okay. And is that difficult there?
I'll let you know in a couple weeks. I don't see any so far it's been great. I sent the ledger of all the late fees and everything that they've acquired. We actually agree, or I can give you a little rundown on it. We agreed to a cash for keys day, October 5th or 6th, I want to say. And I was going to give $500 for her to just leave. And she
Okay.
knew this for a couple of weeks. So we sat on her for about 2, 3 weeks. She knew about this. She's like, can I just get that time to move out? I was like, that's fine. You're not getting the 500 till you move out, obviously, right? So um, I had somebody go over to the property October 5th and she didn't answer. She didn't come to the door, nothing. So we tried calling everything. So now we just escalated to the eviction. So it's actually my first one. I've done cash for keys before, but it's actually my first one. That may be something of interest you might want to look into is just offering them a couple of dollars to just leave.
Right.
Um, and they don't get their deposit, obviously, right? But
Obviously, yeah.
yeah, so I tried that. So we wasted a couple weeks there, and then she ended up not responding to that. So we are now escalating it. So I paid for it yesterday, so I'll let you know. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, I'll keep you up on that one. I'll want to know how that one pans out.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so
Hopefully smooth. There, it's
I guess
from what I heard, it's pretty easy, but
if you're gonna have something, you might as well have it at the beginning. That way you know how to deal with it. But
hmm
it was not anything that we were, we were hoping for at this point, juncture. Because I've been
hmm
out there several times to look. I went out there to look at the house that just rented in September, and we, just drove by, and it looked like she was keeping it up, and there was no problems and stuff. And
Yeah,
um, it's yeah, it is what it is. That's all I gotta
part of
say.
the business. Yeah.
It is. It is. I don't want to get discouraged. But I don't know if I would want to invest in a area. I thought I would have more connection to the area because my daughter rents one of our houses that we own. So
hmm
I could have it, but that didn't work out the way we had hoped. So I I I don't know. I guess I was excited when I seen all of the potential, and then a lot of that, kind of fell to the side. And so I want to still invest. I mean, we had hoped to have a couple more homes, but we literally pulled back and didn't even, I haven't even looked. I haven't even looked. And what you're doing excites me. I'm thinking about maybe flipping a house where I live, um,
hmm
just to do something different, where, you're buying, you're selling, you're not going to rent it unless you have to because you can't sell it, kind of a thing. But our market here is still growing in Minnesota, where we still have jobs. There's still a lot of
uh
potential of employment. So uh, nothing has dropped in price, but nothing's gone up in price. So it's been pretty kind of stagnant.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, wherever we can do to help,
Oh,
more
thank
than
you.
willing.
Well, thank you for the advice. Thank you, Lindsay. And yeah, I knew she had a lot of, experience with rentals and property management. So I knew she'd have some good advice. So I appreciate it. And I'm, again, excited to hear what Vincent goes through. Hopefully it's smooth sailing.
Yes, I hope so. Get her out and move on to the next person.
Well, thank you.
Steve, do you want to tell us a little bit more about your deal? Like, would it be funding 70% for you and 30% for that person that you're talking about?
Yeah, can
Yeah,
you
I
guys
didn't
hear
really
me?
understand that. Yep.
Okay. So the backstory is I'm in the Jacksonville, Florida market. I'm trying to find my second property. Would like to self-manage it and have it be close to where I live. So that's the backstory. I've been struggling to find anything really turnkey. Everything needs major system replacements. So I've just been going down the path of considering doing a BRRRR. At least then I'll know all four systems are solid, um, and have good bones for a long-term rental. So that's the basic backstory. So I've been going to a lot of real estate networking events and trying to get at least 3 contacts per. And so I met this really cool guy, realtor, investor, who's done a bunch of projects. And he's like, hey, if you want to, I was like, I really just need experience on my first one, need some help just kind of going through, managing the contractors. He's like, I got a team, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, I'm like, what would that look like? He's like, well, you can do like 70-30 and him take 30% ownership, during, from the LLC itself. And then essentially from a financing perspective, I'd want him to have skin in the game, like at least 10K. And then I would put the rest of the down payment down for hard money is what I've kind of sketched up so far. We're just kind of talking about it right now. But just wondering if this sounds like a bad idea or a good idea. And
Um, I'll ask you this, and this would be something you'd keep long term, right?
yeah, on the exit, I would DSCR out and keep it in my portfolio, pay him off, dissolve the LLC.
So why partner up, if you don't mind me? Like, what's the reason? Just to get help?
Yeah, I've a pretty demanding W-2.
Okay.
Um, but I mean, I have some flexibility work
So
wise.
a split like that, do you expect him to put in 30% of the work? Like it's just kind of it's hard. So are you expecting him, hey, I don't want to deal with the rehab at all, so you handle all the rehab, or I don't want to. I think it needs if you are going to partner up. Well, one, I would say for long term, don't do it. I don't know how this who this guy is or structured. Just do it yourself. One, this sounds a little it could be great. It could work out great and fine, fantastically, but a split like that, I don't know. It's just hard to I have about 8 houses with a business partner and we're 50-50, but do we put in 50-50 to work? Absolutely not. I do a lot more on certain things. He does a lot more on other things. So it's gonna be really hard to I get it, we want help and you want to make sure you're doing it right, but that's a little that's a little tough, you know. And what does he have in for it? You know, if he puts 10K, what is he getting out of it? 30% of what? Of your refi?
Yeah, pretty much. We need to define those terms. We're just kind of conceptually
Okay.
talking it out right now.
Unless he's bringing you the deal or we're providing some value. If it's just helping you with the process, I would say knock it out yourself. You know, just kind of go through the punches and knock it out yourself. You know, if you I know you said you're busy, but um I don't know. It just seems a little kind of a lot.
Yeah, the only, just for background, the only construction experience we redid our kitchen. I self GC'd that,
Hmm.
and just last year. So that's really the extent of my experience. But I mean, we had to use, we had to pull permits. It's like I'm pretty familiar with the process, just
Hmm.
not, the whole rest of the house dealing with electrical and all that. But I mean, we dealt with electrical, we dealt with HVAC, we dealt with moving gas lines, we dealt with
Hmm.
moving plumbing. So I mean, maybe it's just a confidence factor.
Yeah.
Is that your only
Um,
reason to have a partner?
Um, Probably.
But you're getting this, this is with an exit plan, right? One, you DSCR, you would end your partnership. Is that what I'm understanding?
Correct.
Right. So I think that that's more of a deal like Vincent has experience now, right? But like as a newbie, I think this is a deal I would be entertaining worth dealing because if I have piggyback on the experience of this person and like assessing rehab cost or downside the rehab cost and the realtor also fee, like if he's not gonna take a realtor fee, then that means more bucks on your pocket at the end of like when you finish with this rehab. So I would definitely consider.
Yeah, because I think to answer your question earlier, one of the other lack of confidence is like getting that rehab budget right. I just haven't done that. I know my kitchen ended up costing way more than I thought it would. Um, but I'm doing rental grade finishes, you know what I mean? But I just, I don't estimate that kind of stuff often. So I think that's one of the challenges when you're seeing these deals, how tight to these rehab numbers, can we get, for rental grade? And
That
how
makes
does that
sense.
affect your ARV exit appraisal, right?
I will look at the numbers closely, and if he's like, putting $10,000 and getting $30,000 at the end of the day, but you're getting a property that cash flows, and that's your goal, and now you know what it takes to manage a flip, then that's not something to drive away from. I think I would be okay with that for sure.
yeah, I would just outline exactly your position in the partnership, both of you guys. Right? Just make sure you're protected, he's protected. You set out, you know who's doing what at what point, all that kind of stuff. To say operating agreements are for disagreements, right? They're not for when everything goes well. They're for when things go bad. But I don't know how close you are to this guy. And then when you're walking these properties or you're looking for a property, take your contractor. If you're unsure of numbers, let them do a rundown with you and then tell you, hey, it's going to cost you 35 grand to do this. So, okay, that now I need to be at this number for this purchase or something like that, or I need to make sure this ARV is here or whatever. Um, and at least it'll give you a general idea. Okay, I know the condition of that house we walked yesterday. It's going to take about 35 grand. This one's not as bad. It's going to be 30 grand, whatever. So maybe take them with you to build up that confidence so you have somebody who is a professional in there. to tell you numbers, to show you what needs to be done, somebody that you can trust, as contractor side of things, if that helps maybe with your confidence or with at least running numbers as well.
Yeah, because I mean it adds up pretty quick. You know, pretty much everything I'm looking at needs a roof, so you're already 10K in. Everything needs a rewire and a panel, so you're, you know, around here you're looking around 15K. Depending if it's on slab, you know, if it's lath and plaster, you know, because these are pretty old homes.
Yeah.
You know, HVAC's always shot. Ducting is, you know, a big question mark. You know, a lot of these off-grade houses, you know, you got potential structural. So I've been looking for block on slab with tile, you know, ideally is, you know, for rental grade stuff. So I'm trying to find, you know, kind of that sweet spot where it's like got that durability factor. But that adds up pretty quick with what I just rattled off. You know, you're probably pretty close to 40. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh yeah, for sure. It's not cheap. Rehabs
Those
and
are all
are
your
definitely.
major expenses right there.
yeah.
Those are
Then
big sticker price tags.
Yeah.
that's before you get into, you know, your kitchen
Bathrooms.
refresh,
Flooring,
your kitchens and
paint.
bathrooms and flooring, you know, and paint, you know, so that, you know, you could get up there pretty quick, you know. So like I know my general numbers, but I could see going in thinking it's going to be 45, and then I think I'm just afraid it's going to end up at like 65 or something, you know.
Hey Steve, I have a is this guy you're thinking about partnering with, is this something that he's done, like he's done burrs before, or what's the relationship?
He's done 12 flips. He's a realtor. We've kind of got a thing going where he's looking for land and trying to do multiple units on land. So I'm an environmental consultant by day. So he's sending me properties of stuff he's looking at, you know, 10 acres or less to do kind of mobile home stuff on. And then I'm helping him pre-screen environmental challenges that are going to cost him money and helping him review his deals. And he's helping me review my deals. So we've been working together for about 6 weeks so far. So we've kind of created this symbiotic relationship where we're both getting something out of it so far, even if it never goes anywhere.
Mhm.
So we're kind of slowly building trust.
Would you be considering doing kind of the opposite of what you proposed? So say you were like more of the hard money lender and you are part of his process. That way you kind of see how he works through the process to get familiarity with his timeline, how he handles issues and so forth versus it being flipped.
As far as land development, or
No, just like doing a burger.
yeah, you know, he's mostly pivoting to land development at the moment and going down the mobile home business model to test that out. So I'm not sure I'm fully tracking that.
Oh, well, the reason why I was saying is because you're thinking about having him be like your guy that's gonna manage your bird. So you're talking about the relationship with the 70-30 and stuff like that. You know, how well do you know him to make sure that he stays on project timeline, you know, within the budget, you know, all these other things, because having a partnership to that degree, it will stress you, especially when things are being stated that didn't get done, that you didn't agree upon, and then who takes ownership and responsibility. Like, if you don't have a really good operating agreement, things could get sideways real quick.
Yeah, the great points. I think it comes back to the skin in the game. Like Lindsay was saying, if he's got skin in the game and his return is at the end of the rainbow as well, you know, there's a leverage point there where we're both incentivized to do it right and get the highest ARV possible on the shortest time frame possible. You know, so that's how I'm kind of building it up. And so I've got an outline of some of these things we've talked about, like anytime anything costs more than $5,000, we have to have mutual agreement. You know, he can't just go make a $5,000 decision, right? That kind of thing without my buy-in.
Well,
But
and especially if you're going to be the one owning the property on the back end of the deal, you know, you want to make there isn't something that was decided, but later down the road, you're like, I don't know why it got done this way. This was stupid. And it might cost you money. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, he's got skin in the game, but you ultimately have the property in the long run. So it's like, you know, how much involvement are you going to have in that process and deciding those things?
My vision is I'll be on site 2 days a week. They'll be on site 1 day a week, keeping
Good.
the contractors motivated. And I've got enough flexibility in my schedule. I can drop in for, you know, an hour or two twice a week, or more potentially. But you know, it's kind of like the contractor management process and like learning how to push hard, how to keep these guys motivated, um, how to stay on schedule. That's where I feel like I need the experience.
When you're vetting a contractor or shopping around for people that can rehab the property, um, get your scope of work up front. So, right, you walk up, you meet with this guy, he tells you, okay, it's going to take me 6 weeks to do this, and it's going to be 30 grand. Um, they're going to give you a labor price, unless I don't know, unless how they work out there. 10 out of 10 times out here, they're just going to give their labor price, materials. They're all pretty much the same for a rental grade or a burr or flip grade. They're all pretty much the same. So I kind of already have that idea in my head. Okay, this one's a 1,200 square foot house. This flooring costs this much. Cabinets cost this much. Counters, bathrooms, all that, right? So they're gonna give their labor price. I pay out on Fridays as long as work progresses. So I do a weekly payout. They get paid I don't pay when the job is over. I just pay out Friday as long as work progresses. It works better for my crew. It just works out a lot. A lot of people don't pay until the actual job is done. So once the bathroom is done, then we'll pay out. We have a crew. There's this guys of four, the crew of 4 guys. They're doing multiple things at a time, so it's really hard for me to go, hey, the bathroom's done when it's 75% done. But they jumped, 2 guys jumped on the kitchen just to get that started because we move so fast and we're pushing these out so fast. So it's really hard for me to say when one thing is done, we're going to pay, right? So that's why I just do a weekly payout. But hold them to it, right? So if nothing happens in that week, they're not getting paid. They're like, and they know that if there's no progress or if there's very, very minimal progress and you had 7 days to do something, you're not getting paid. So as long as you hold them to that, and they know how long it'll take, minus any crazy issues, right? Anything that you uncover stuff, things always pop up, but minus anything crazy, that timeline you should hold them to that timeline, and it should, you should feel comfortable with it, and they should know how long it's going to take for these rehabs.
Vince, you recommend pulling permits on all major systems?
uh, I recommend you do the correct way your city requires. Do
Gotcha.
I do it all the time? Absolutely not. But we
Yeah.
also don't uncover. I walk a lot when I do walk projects, my contractor goes the majority of the time. But we're not getting into things where, I mean, roofs we do all the time. That's fine. That goes into the price, right? I did on one of my houses have to pull permits, but we just got caught. The city drove by and one of my guys left a bunch of stuff out front for the hauling guy and he didn't show up. So it looks like, we had a lot going on. So we pulled permits for that one. But it's your call, honestly.
Yeah. 10-4. Good PC
Who's to
answer.
say you didn't? Who's to say you didn't buy the house and it was already done?
Have you checked
So you're.
have you checked with the city to find out? Because there's a lot of stuff that you do not have to pull permits for, and you don't realize it. I went into the city and we were doing remodels, and as long as we're not changing the footprint of the house, no permits
Mhm.
need to be pulled, even though we were changing everything, like we were gutting the whole kitchen.
Oh, that's huge right there.
Not in
Yeah.
California. You have to have
Oh.
Yeah, everything.
Oh, this is Minnesota. Yeah, as long as you didn't change the foot, and then we did all bathrooms. So we remodeled all of our bathrooms in our existing home. And as long as we didn't change the drain, like move the drain, and she says, well, if you adjusted it a little bit, we're not gonna measure to make sure you didn't move it. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she was really nice about it. I'm like, okay, so what should I pull permits on? I guess nothing. I'm out of yeah. So yeah, but each state and each county, and I would say county because we were in a county that was restricted before this one, and everything had to be pulled. So
Yeah, no, they want to see and they want to see everything in California.
well, I
Cool.
witnessed a house that's for sale behind us. It had 51 permits pulled on it. 51 permits. It
Wow.
was yeah, I was like,
Yeah, that's
If
crazy.
if I advise, don't ever go in the building department. Call them and don't even tell your name.
Why do you say that?
Because once you go, they know you, right? And they
exactly.
know the
Yeah.
address.
Yes, yes, you're correct. Because we were asking, we wanted to put a pool house in our backyard, and we can't because they won't allow for the plumbing. But our neighbor has a pool house with a bathroom in it. And so we actually said, yeah, well, we're in a neighborhood and our next door neighbor, and they're like, where do you live? And we're like, I'm not gonna, why would I'm not gonna oust my neighbor. No. So we were checking. We were like, oh, okay, I guess, yeah, that's over. So yes, you being careful about who you tell. The city will come out and check.
Yeah, when we did our kitchen
Yes.
here in Jacksonville, the only things I pulled permits on were the rewire and the moving of the gas line, because those are pretty major things. But other than that, yeah, we flew under the radar, no problem. Appreciate the feedback, y'all.
Well, I have to hop off, everybody, and prepare for another meeting. You guys please feel free to stay on. I just have to hop off, but appreciate everybody as always. Great questions, great talk today, and looking forward to next week.
Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Have a good weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Mark has been very quiet today. Mark, what's up?
What do you mean?
He
Been
got
very
his feelings
quiet.
hurt.
He
Why?
What?
always has that response.
I
Always has that
I
response.
just
What do
am
you
here to
mean?
learn and listen and you know,
Mark, they told us you may have another deal coming.
who did? Who said that?
I don't know, a bird,
Oh, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of work for it, so I don't know if I'm gonna move forward with it. We'll see how much I can get off.
a flip, or
Burr, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna hold it, but I mean, both sewers gonna need work, so I mean, I think the two estimates were 7 and 8K around, so
That's not too
uh
bad.
yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna pay for it. I mean, I mean, I sent it to the seller and I say, "Hey, you saw these?"
is this a duplex?
Same as the last one, like a duplex with a single family home, a detached single family home.
Okay, you.
So we'll see. But
So, okay, share the numbers then. How much would they have to come down for you to take on the cost?
I told him 40K because the plumbing, the furnitures are all end of life. Probably some roof stuff, and then even like a tree. I mean, I'm just throwing extra shit in, like the tree I'd want removed, and that's on top of like the initial stuff that I was probably gonna do anyways, like cosmetic stuff to get it ready. So we'll see. I mean, I think Mikey's here. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the inspection person we've been using, I think they're definitely more on the conservative side. So they bring up every little thing too, so which is good for you to try to get more credits. And I think a lot of the stuff they do bring up too is maybe uh I don't know if I'd say they're too much of concerns. I mean, they're kind of standard things, but it definitely looks good when you present it to the seller, saying like, "Hey, look, like look what popped up," and so we'll see. But yeah, I told him 40K, but I'll probably do it at 30K. But we'll see what they say.
I'd rather know all those little things up front because then you're aware of it, even though some of that stuff you're like, it's not a big deal.
No, yeah. I mean, like I think, but it's just nice to have it
Oh
in
yeah,
a
when they list it in the
report. Yeah,
inspection, that way you can send it over to the seller like, hey.
yeah,
I always get the inspector on the phone after the reports. I know the reports like can be 40 pages, right? So, and I always ask them like, what do I need to fix right now? Like if I'm closing tomorrow, what do I have 6 months to fix? And then
yeah,
they'll tell me exactly.
yeah. I think I know Dion probably doesn't like to talk to it too much because it kind of goes maybe a little bit against what Zuber's message is, right? Like break even deals now in a sense, but he's looking at it a couple years from now in some hinds. So I think that's kind of where I'm at in my portfolio too, is it's easier for me to take on these type that not that they're negative, it's just the full value or full cash flow is definitely not going to probably be
It's a little
noticed.
skinnier than
Yeah,
some would prefer.
but it's a good deal when it does get to its potential, I guess, in a sense. But someone maybe first starting, it's definitely because it's so much sliver, it's harder for them to take on in the beginning, right? So, and I
Mm.
think that's why like Dion doesn't like to mention it too
Are you
much.
moving up in classes of neighborhood, Mark? Like going from a
I'm
C
actually
to a
probably
B, or
going not. I'm actually probably going backward. Not, I wouldn't say backwards, but I'm going more out of the city. So, um, like I think I kind of talked on the live today, but somebody asked Jeremy like, is Pittsburgh Midwest or Northeast? And he actually brought it up where Pittsburgh is probably more like Northeast because it's a little more regulated in a sense. Taxes are a little bit high, but if you go on the outskirts, then it's more Midwest. So you kind of got that more blue collar, less regulations in a sense. So he kind of looks at, I mean, those outskirts fall under Pittsburgh, but from kind of like the taxes and everything. So I'm kind of, so I don't know if that's, I'm saying I'm going into lesser classes neighborhood, I guess, in a sense, but it's more outside of the city where I'm not dealing with as much of the higher taxes and stuff.
How's everybody else doing? I know I haven't heard from Anna or Val.
Val's trying to hide because I was giving
I'm,
him.
I'm,
Oh,
I'm,
go ahead, Val. Go ahead, Val.
I'm not hiding. How's everyone doing?
Good. Are we live on your rental? Is it for rent yet?
No, no. But we are almost there. Because I think when Vincent was talking earlier about his squatter and the nasty house, I think we were kind of going through the same thing at the same time. And I think he said he was getting ready to have his for sale. But yes, we should be good to rent at the top of the month. Thought we was gonna be able to do it on the 18th or the 20th, but she is a Section 8 lady, and so we're gonna have to do it at the top of the month. So, but now we all is well. Just finishing up, trying to finish up a few little odds and ends, but that's it. That's all. No complaints. I did get clear to closing on it yesterday, and then I'm good on we all good on a refi. So yeah, so just man, listening to you and Vincent just killing it, man. I'm like, congrats to you on your new seller finance, and then Mark talking. I mean, it's hard not to be in this group, bro, and just watch everybody win and not, as they say, keep pushing on through your trials and tribulations. So y'all
No,
pat yourselves on the back.
no, definitely. We want to hear about like your rental for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
that's been challenging for you with this one for a couple years now.
yeah,
So it's gonna be
yeah, yeah,
so cool
yeah.
to receive rental income from this one.
Yeah. Oh, and look, the lady, when I tell you, this lady who wants it, and we've been talking, well, we done went through the whole rigmarole and everything. She wants it. She comes over there like every day. I see her pop up on my camera. She comes over there every single day. We was trimming some trees the other day, and she went to Myrtle Beach for a couple of days, and I got to come back out there and look at it, and what are y'all gonna do with all those trees? And they're gonna grow back. They're gonna grow back. And I mean, but she's just an older lady, but she's just super duper excited. But like I said, she comes over there every single day and just pulls in the driveway, walks around the house, and be talking on the phone the whole time. So yeah, so so everything's good. I couldn't be happier, so.
I'm actually gonna be live streaming later today if anyone wants to tune in. I don't
What
usually go.
what
I
time?
don't.
What time?
Don't worry, you're not gonna tune in probably.
Dinner time,
You
Val.
still did
Dinner
the
time.
5 o'clock with Alex,
Yeah,
Mark?
it's gonna. I usually don't go that late, but that's the only time
See,
Alex
see,
could
see.
could do it. But Alex, who's part of the Thursday accountability call,
Yes.
he's gonna be on kind of sharing. For I think his first time he said live
Yeah.
streaming or anything. So he has a cool story. So he's gonna share his story. Ray's also gonna jump on. So it's gonna be me, Ray, and Alex. So but 5 p.m. Pacific. But yeah, Alex has a
That's
cool
late for
story, and
you.
he went to the BP Con event, so he can also get his kind of feedback on what he thought. And
Who rated or?
Alex did.
Oh, really? I
Yeah,
didn't know that, Alex. That's awesome.
yeah,
Hey, Mark, I think that's
yes.
the only accountability group in the community, the Thursday night.
Hey, Jessic.
No comment on that. I'm not here to make trouble.
You started it. You posted.
What did I post?
Everybody's like, Mark's advertising your guys' call on Pittsburgh, and I was like, that was the slowest and the smallest call we had
Oh yeah,
this
yeah,
Thursday. Like
yeah.
everybody was doing something, but thanks for advertising.
Hey, yeah, it's from the heart. That didn't sound like my message, Lynn.
Did it what?
Oh, the one I shared for the Pittsburgh accountability call on Thursday.
Yeah, I was like having FOMO, so I joined during my lunch break.
No,
And
no,
I
no.
was
But you
on.
you you commented on my post
Yeah,
in
I was just
school.
like, why is this like bigger sign? Excuse me. Jen, we haven't talked to you today. Are you W2ing as well?
All right, I can step away then for like 20 minutes if Jen's gonna start talking.
No, she has to go. Yeah. Kenny can talk, he said.
Kenny, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, what was your
Uh,
take on Thatch's event? What was your takeaway from it?
um, I think for newer investors, it's probably a good room to be with. I mean, he's obviously selling his course, um, but I mean, for the networking part, I think it's always good. I mean, I think these things are good for networking, um, but I mean, the information presented is just more for getting people who are like on the sidelines to jump in and selling his mastermind course. But it was a decent event.
Let me stop recording for you, Kenny.
Okay.